Yo, yo, yo. Let me get, it looks like it's not showing my screen share here. Let me fix that. 2 seconds. Sorry, I'm starting a little late. I'm hot as F right now because of, I don't have my lights on. 1 sec. Let me do this. Got to turn the stuff on. I'm hot as all heck right now because my air conditioning is not working in the house, but I'm still focused on being here. So we're doing this. So sweaty and all, lights off, coming at the last minute. I'm here and ready to rock and roll. All right. Let's cover a few things real quick. So we'll start with the macro like always. And we got to talk about Tesla today because, I mean, it's up almost 5%. Audio is clipping again. Are you shitting me? Ugh. That's so fucking annoying. I literally have... Let me check something real quick. I have no idea. Let me try this. I'm going to go back to the mic. 1 sec. Go back to the headset. Is that better? Give it a second. Let me check this too. I don't know why all of a sudden this is a problem. I've done literally nothing with the mic. Is it better? Still suck? You guys let me know if it's getting any better. I've got it set to 4 dB. Oh, wait. This is weird. Let me check one thing here. Same intermittent. Motherfucker. Hate this shit. I hate technical problems. Let me do this real quick. Let me try and turn the dB up. And if I need to, I might just... turn it off and on again. All right. So dB's up. Let me know if this helps at all. Did I punch my mic? No. I feel like it. I feel like punching the mic. I'm hot as shit. It's like 80 degrees in here. My audio isn't working. How about them Teslas? Yeah, dude, those 5% is an awesome day. Let me know if the sound's getting any better. I might just like unplug it and plug it back in. Let me know. Is it getting any better? See a bunch of weird little faces on the screen. Don't know what that means. Just roll with it. Here, 1 sec. I'm going to do one thing. One would think that would help. Let's see. Your mic expects proper air conditioning. Yeah, it's overheating. That's awesome. Let me turn this up to... All right, let me see. Gain is up heavy. Let me do something else here. Let me turn this down. Okay, testing 1, 2, 3. Testing 1, 2, 3. Did not help. Fucking awesome. I don't understand. This just bugs the shit out of me. I've literally got 5 gig down, and I've changed nothing. 100? 100, does that mean good? You guys driving me nuts. God. All right, let me see. Let me see this time. I think I switched between mic sources, maybe. Good enough. Did not help. Son of a bitch. All right, I'm going to try. Last time it fixed itself. Do I have 2 mics going at once? I shouldn't. Let me just double check all of my inputs to make sure nothing weird has happened. Sometimes when things get updated... Mic aux. You should not even be alive. Let me see. Active, it says. How is that fucking active? Let me do this. 1 sec. I'm going to see if this will help. Oh, I hope that's it. Is it any better? Volume is better, but little intermittent static. Fuck. I did have mic aux on a few different tracks, but I just killed that. You sound like Tony Two-Time. Got to get the papers. Sweet. All right, let me try something else here. No static now? Ah, fuck, that's probably what it was. It was probably, maybe it was my Mac trying to pick up audio too. Can somebody else confirm that? Hopefully we got this problem behind us. Oh, sweet. Okay, great. All right, so I think that problem's permanently solved. Let's move on. Let's get to work. All right, let's start with the macro. Lots going on here. I'm literally sweating bullets. It's intermittent. Oh, fuck. I'll try and figure it out later. Son of a bitch. I just have no idea what this could be. Intro. Yeah, the audio looks like it should be fine. I'm going to unhide all of these just to make sure. Mic aux says is muted. Stock 1 is muted. Stock 2 is muted. Yeah, I don't know what it is. All right, I'll try. I just fucking hate it when shit doesn't work. It bothers me immensely. Near, natural, louder. Just checking settings real quick. Mic mute, monitor mix. I've got this update on my Shure mic. Maybe there's something I have to do there. Anyway, thank you for joining, even though my mic sucks ass. Let's keep going. Let's see if it gets better like it did last time. So, the Japanese yen, actually, I wanted to talk to this. There's a number of people that are scared about this. So, we're seeing the yen breaking down to levels that we haven't seen since 1986. It's a little scary, but again, I think that the Treasury Department is going to be working with Japan to make sure that that's good. So I'm not too worried about it. Hey, Jesse. Yo, Jesse. Sorry about the mic, guys. Banana 3. I love this guy. He's actually pretty cool. He just references the liquidity chart that's shown in the Financial Times. Source, Cross-Border Capital. The guy pays $75 a month to get his financial insights. Michael Howell. He's brilliant. He wrote the book Capital Wars and a few others. If he's right, which I believe he is, we're looking at a liquidity cycle that is up and away. Audio good now. What bullshit. But whatever, I'll take it. But a liquidity cycle that's going to peak in 2026. This lines up perfectly with what happens with the Bitcoin cycle and kind of what I'm seeing for timelines for potential risk of wars and other things, with China and invasion of Taiwan and all this other stuff. So there's a lot of just, and I don't even know if that's going to happen. They're doing so bad, but there's a lot of stuff pointing that we're going much higher. All right. Fear and greed. I said it certainly doesn't feel fearful to me. And bar chart was just referencing the CNN Fear and Greed Index, a popular index for determining sentiment. And here's the deal. Tesla's up almost 5% today, and the market is fearful. What the fuck is it going to do when they get exuberant? I'm very excited about that. Seth Golden said, with 2024 not quite half over, the Russell 2000 year-to-date performance gap ranks as third largest in its 45-year history. Bad news, this portion of your portfolio is probably underperformed, referencing small caps, right? The top 2,000. Actually, really, it's like the top 1,990 because the top 10 were the ones that were performing really well, right? But it says, good news, this portion of your portfolio has the greatest catch-up potential, and I 100% agree with this. This is a great graph just showing the level of underperformance for a long time. Look at this. Going back to 2016, there was one good year where we had high performance. Outside of that, it's just been death for these sectors. And as you'll see historically, they tend to do really well during recovery periods. So I still believe small caps are going to get better, just like Tom Lee and numerous others, including my buddy Seth. Bar chart says NASDAQ is now outperforming the S&P by the largest margin in almost 30 years, even surpassing the peak dot-com bubble. I just want to reference this is nothing like the dot-com bubble, nothing like it whatsoever. I love you, bar chart, but I hate these shitty-ass comparisons. If you'll look, before the dot-com bubble, look, it was higher. It was higher in 95 than it is now. And that wasn't the end of the world. So this is a stupid comparison, in my opinion. We obviously have a real narrative in the tech sector. These companies are monoliths. They are massive. They have free cash like we've never seen before in history. And they have momentum. They have, people purchasing. They're bundling. They have AI. There's so many narratives. They have autonomy if it's Tesla and robotics. And there's so many narratives that are driving us way better than the dot-com bubble. I remember I was there. I'm an old fucker. Where literally pets.com was one of the biggest stocks you could buy. And obviously that didn't turn out very well. So just, take this for what it's worth. And I don't think it's very much, even though I do love those guys. Gergavan I talked about this yesterday. We'll skip this. We don't have as many things because we're kind of caught up here, which is good, I think, in my opinion. I'm going to jump real quickly to Bitcoin. We're going to do a lot more looking at charts today. I do want, before we go there, though, we do need to take a step back. I want to look at some indices here. It's been a very interesting day. So we're going to look at some heat maps first. If you'll look today, you can see in the tech sector, Apple did great. Really, the rest were kind of chilling. Apple and Amazon. Amazon, I think, hit $2 trillion today. And Tesla was the golden boy and the goat of the day, which does not happen very often, so you better rejoice. I think I made almost $100,000 off of Tesla. Yeah, probably close to $100,000. 83,000 on the main portfolio today, just in Tesla options, putting me at 570 there, plus another 50 in my other account. So $620,000 in Tesla. Loving that. Want to see that number get bigger. Bitcoin took a little bit of a dive, but again, it's been running really good. We'll look at that chart a little bit later. Solana's continuing to run, showing tons of strength. All right, I want to hit the indices. S&P. This does not look like a bad chart, ladies and gents. This looks like a chart that wants to run to 5,600, 5,700. And I think you can expect that in short order. The NASDAQ looks like it wants to push to new all-time highs. Again, it was overbought in the 83 range, which is fairly high on the daily. And on the weekly, it's still showing overbought too. And it's actually, it's kind of hard to see here. Let me do this. Let me see if I can move this around real quick to get the RSI a little cleaner. Oh, it's too much shit going on in this one. Too much shit. I don't even know what all these lines are for. What is happening here? All right, we're not going to look at that right now because it's such a fucking mess. But again, the NASDAQ looks strong. I think we're going to test new all-time highs in the 20,000 range. I do think the NASDAQ is due for a little bit of, again, outperformance from things like the Russell and even the S&P. Probably more the Russell. I think that there's some areas that will still struggle in the S&P. Again, on the Russell, we didn't get that outperformance today. Today it was down 0.21%, whereas the NASDAQ, again, let me just pull it up here, was up 0.25, and the S&P was up 0.16. So a pretty flat day, which is why I absolutely love to see Tesla outperforming today. It's just the best thing ever. Let's jump to the dollar. Again, currencies are very important right now. You can see here. This could be a move higher. It could be. This is the monthly time frame. It's kind of hard to see here. We could be breaking out, or we could be just testing up here again, and this could be bear flagging. My vote is still that this right here is a bear flag, and we'll start to find resistance and roll over on the dollar. But if it does gain strength, and the dollar gets stronger, you know what that means? That means we're probably going to need to turn the money printer back on, which is not bad for indices, even though companies that are overseas do get hit by a stronger dollar. We will want to weaken the dollar. But I think, if nothing else, I think that comes from just money printing coming from China and other countries around the world that are desperate, like Japan, not to have their currencies weakening against the dollar any more than they already have. All right, let's look at other currencies. We're going to look at the Chinese yuan. Again, the dollar is gaining strength again against it. And so, if anything, it's like the dollar's getting stronger here, which leads to maybe that isn't a bear flag we're seeing. The Japanese yen, like I said, hit the highest levels we've seen since 1986, way over here. So these are crazy numbers here for the yen. It's definitely weakening in a major way, and I mean that could continue to happen. But I do think markets can remain strong in that environment. Let's look at the ruble. I want to see how the Russians are doing. Russia's actually gaining strength against the dollar. Now, there is a lot of stuff going on with the latest round of sanctions in Russia, so this one's going to be wobbly for a while. Real quick, put-call ratio, still sitting low. I like this. We had much higher levels the end of 2022 into January of 2024, and we kind of stabilized over here and are staying underneath in a regular range, which means the markets are pretty flat, that with the level of strength we're seeing in some of these underperformers. All right, let me see here. So now I want to real quickly jump over to the economic calendar and refresh real quick. All right, and we got a lot going on today. I think I'm going to go ahead and focus on tier 2 items. New home sales are 0.619. They were expected 0.64 and 0.65. I do want to look at this. It is a significant weakening from the previous read. But if you look at this, like, again, this has been painful for a while. The August of 2020 was like our strongest rush. You can see where we're kind of trending higher here up before the pandemic, and then just gained strength into it. And then ever since, it's been weak. So I do think that this market for existing and new, and I'm not really concerned about this because I think it just gives the Fed a reason to lower rates. Let me go back to one because there's not a lot else on here. Let me see if there's anything else of interest. Mortgage applications. Let's take a look. Flat. Nothing really to see here. Mortgage market index. This is a better read usually. And I don't know. Yeah, there we go. So again, you can see that we're at some of the lowest levels we've seen going all the way back to the 90s. There really isn't much more to go than up here. This is one of the deepest routes, longest routes we've seen in modern history of the mortgage market, going back to the early 90s. So we know that we need to build more houses. We know we need to sell more houses, and that's another good reason for rates to come down. Let's see how the refinance index, I'm sure, is still shit because rates are not great. So you can see how it's raising a little bit because some people just have to refinance, or they're desperate, again, to just pay down other debts. And you know, if you got a bunch of credit card debt sitting at 30% interest because you had a balance transfer and it rolled over or whatever, or you just spent too much, you'd rather consolidate that into a loan with your mortgage. And so I think some of this increase that we've seen happening this year is just people trying to consolidate debt at like a 7% rate instead of having it at 30. So it's the start of some pain and suffering on people in the mortgage or that are using their mortgage because they're having pressure outside of that. You got to remember, like 2/3 of America own real estate. So there's a lot of leverage there for people to be able to absorb pain. But I think rates have to start coming down. I don't know if it's happening in July, honestly, but September seems like a must, and I would expect it to happen by then. If you look here, building permits are plummeting again. So we're way down here at these levels. So again, we want more building because this only exacerbates the problem with inflation in the housing sector, right? You can't have this at all. So we want to see this get better. How's the sound too? Is it doing any better right now? Is it still suck? Like, what's happening? I'm just trying to figure out what's going on with this feed. But yeah, so I think, again, building permits, we need more of these. The Fed needs to lower rates. They need to encourage more building. The new home sales market is slowing down and freezing up again, and existing homes have been frozen for a long time. It's detrimental that we start lowering rates and start freeing up the economy. I don't think there's a lot else to report underneath the economic data here. Let's look real quickly at the CME Fed Watch tool to see what we're looking at for the latest calculations from the Chicago Mercantile Exchange for the vote we're doing with interest rates. So July is still only 10.3%, not super high chance that we'll lower rates, but you never know. September looks pretty solid, actually, at 63% roughly for lowering at least 25 bips, if not 50. So this is going to be interesting. Occasionally, hit the thumbs up. It's good. Occasional issues, but overall fine. So annoying. Anyway, but so the things I wanted to point out here are just that again, I think rates are coming down. I think all this stuff is going to be beneficial. I think that we're going to see a lot of money printing around the world. China's still in tons of pain, and it's only getting worse. Let's jump over to Bitcoin real quick here. If my screen will refresh, if anything will work today, whether it be missioning, whether it be my bookmarks. Let's see here. Oh my God, don't tell me my internet isn't working now. Son of a bitch. Okay, good. All right, so Bitcoin Lightning Payments app Strike launches to millions across the UK. The Lightning Network is still growing. It is functional. It is working. It is getting better all the time. There are more nodes going out there. And companies like Strike with Jack Mallers are kicking ass and pushing us into the future. This is just another great thing showing what's happening. This is actually a pretty good read here from the Bitcoin historian in regard to Julian Assange talking about how people should buy Bitcoin since it was at $10. If you get time, I would read it. We talked a little bit about him yesterday as well. I wanted to show this. Vivek did a good job. He said this is how the recent crash in Bitcoin looks. When in doubt, zoom out. This is what I would focus on. This is what I would focus on. I would focus on the massive amount of growth we're seeing in the price of Bitcoin and the fact we could see, a couple $100,000 pretty easily this cycle, because I think this last cycle, like I said, got neutered. The other one was a thing of beauty, but I could see us over here, in the 200 or the 180 to 500,000 range this cycle. I think that range is very possible and probable, and history tells us it's going to happen. All right, Bitcoin Magazine said, just in, Latin America digital bank Nubank is integrating the Bitcoin Lightning Network for its 100 million customers. I don't know if I covered this one yesterday. I couldn't remember, so I wanted to talk to it today. Nubank is a great bank. They're a phenomenally growing bank. And to have them incorporating Bitcoin Lightning Network is going to put a lot of pressure on other companies that are trying to do anything in fintech within the South American, Central American region. This is going to make transferring money so fucking cheap. These guys will make massive margins. Nubank will benefit from this, and Bitcoin adoption is just going to get huge. Morgan Stanley expected to approve ETFs in the platform for all clients in August. I think we already covered that one yesterday, so I think we're good there. Let's move on. We're going to jump over real quick. We're going to look at the Bitcoin chart, and then don't worry, we're going to get to Tesla. That's coming up next. All right, so Bitcoin, again, we've started dropping a little bit this afternoon. We were looking really good on the weekly time frame, way up here. I think I don't really care what happens here. There's this Income Sharks guy that I was talking about that I shared a post from yesterday. I mean, if he's right with his chart, we could grind sideways again for another month. I don't give a shit. I don't fucking care. It's going up. We're going to make tons of money in the next year for the people that are here. The ones that aren't here, hey, man, thanks for your contribution and time. Eventually, you will be here again. You just might not make as much money as I will. MicroStrategy. And let me see if there's anything else notable on here. So again, RSI is nice and oversold. On the daily time frame, I just want to reiterate this real quickly for Bitcoin. I talked about it briefly yesterday, is the fact that we had the lowest RSI reading just the other day here on the 23rd, 24th, that we had seen since, August of 2023. So kind of a big deal, long time, and definitely a buy zone. And I think we're going to continue that. Maybe we go to the 200. I don't know. I don't fucking care. Again, it doesn't matter that much. All right, let's go to MicroStrategy. MicroStrategy down 2.54 today, so it was actually feeling a little bit of pressure. I do think, though, let me look real quick at miners. Instead of going through one by one, let's just look at what we got here. So miners today took a hit. Iron down 5, Bitfarms down 4, Wolf down 4, CleanSpark 3, MicroStrategy 2.5, Riot down. So a lot of these got hit. Hut was up 4.8%. But a lot of them were retracing. But some of these have done some well, so it's not crazy. And I do think that we're still set up for outperformance in miners. I just don't know if it takes a month or longer for that to happen. But it all looks good. I think Bitcoin still looks strong here. But again, just don't focus on short time frames. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. Just focus on the big picture. Sela said, whenever you get sassy, your mic does some static interesting. All right, whatever. All right, there, I got really sassy. Let's see how that does. Hopefully it helped and didn't make it worse. All right. I'm in South Africa right now, but you're hiccuping too. Remittances via Bitcoin and Lightning Network. Yep, that's going to be awesome. Punch it. It's a really expensive mic. You'd think I wouldn't have to do that, but I don't know. Hopefully better. All right, so enough of that. Now we need to get to some fun. Let's talk about Tesla. One of my faves today. All right, I'm going to get over a few of these here. Somebody, real quickly, the punching didn't help. I'll probably take, I wanted to talk about my price targets for Tesla, and I'm going to pull it up here real quick too. So somebody asked when I was going to take profits. So first off, I just want to point out something that I think is really important. I believe that we have a left shoulder, a head, and a right shoulder here, or at least something close to it. I think strongly that there's a good chance that we can go up to 230 fairly easily. It's kind of hard to see here. I'll just clean up some of this chart a little bit just to get rid of some of the static. But you could see here where if we run up to the 230 range, we're still like at a level that operated pretty good as previous support and resistance throughout. Again, this is kind of where we're seeing this tranche. We're seeing some support down here. We're seeing that resistance was through here. So this, and we're seeing resistance through here. So this is a good area for us to maybe take a breather. So I will probably be at, 230 or 220, maybe something like that. I'll start to take some profits. I think what I actually said here in my post, let me go back to it real quick, is I'll probably take 5% near 200, another 5 to 10%, probably 5% near 230 if we get there quickly, maybe 10% if we get there quickly, and then I keep trimming as we go higher is what I said. And I do believe that that's exactly what I'm going to end up doing. I need to clean up this chart. It's so convoluted right now. I'm not worried about this going down lower here anyway. So again, I think us getting towards on the weekly, like the 210 range could be resistance. And then again, around that 230s where we hit the weekly 200 moving average, this could act as resistance. You can see strong volumes over here, right? Peak volume for this range. It could definitely act as some kind of, resistance. Now, I do think there's a chance that we break through it. And if we do this, we have been in a downward trend going since November of 2021. So 2022, 2023, to half of 2024, almost 3 years, people have been suffering in Tesla. And we have AI, or we have Autonomy Day coming on August 8th. And then we have what I believe is an inverse head and shoulders, and the measured move for that would actually put us, let me just see here, I got to make sure I save this one, would actually put us somewhere as an overshoot out of this range, and then maybe back testing and trying to turn this into support. If that happens, man, there's a really good chance that we test up into the 380s again. So this, after, maybe some grinding over here, I think within a year we're going to test 380. And if that happens, I make $4 million really easily. So again, I'm not in a rush to sell out really quickly. You need to burn some sage, cleanse the room after your live stream. Maybe bring in a Catholic priest. I'm not Catholic, but yeah, maybe that'll help. But yeah, so I don't think it's crazy. Here's the thing. I don't think it's crazy to think that Tesla could double in a year, especially if they do what Elon said and they have like 1,000 robots working in their factories next year. 1,000 to 2,000, I think, was the number that he threw out there. If that happens, and again, he overpromises sometimes because he's an optimist, right? That's just a guilty pleasure of his. So, but at the same time, though, I think it's possible, and I think that move right there makes me so much fucking money that it makes up for any other possible mistakes I can make. And then at the same time, I think Bitcoin's going to be near an all-time high too. So this could be a really fun zone over the next year. And that 5% almost of strength we saw today, some people will talk about that being because of Rivian and what's going on with them with the Volkswagen investment. I think all of that is a fucking joke. Volkswagen is a dying company. Rivian is a dying company. And even the terms of the investment doesn't look super great. And again, Julia Cordova said, hey, are you seeing? I don't know if she's just showing a dick and balls, but it's not the cleanest looking inverse head and shoulders. But yeah, anyway, but you get the point. And then also here, Walter Bloomberg, I wanted to post this. So we had an analyst from Stifel, Stephen Gengaro. He said this. He said, Tesla's in a good position for strong multi-year growth from 2025 and beyond. He said, initiating coverage of the company with a buy rating and a 265 price target let me go down here. In the near term, the electric vehicle car maker revamped Model 3 and upcoming Model Y refresh are likely to support sales. Plus, the Cybertruck is fucking ridiculous and ramping by the day. And then we have, subscriptions, all this stuff, China subscription, so much happening right now. And energy says, while its next generation Model 2 set to enter production next year should attract some strong demand. So the company's AI self-driving initiative could also generate significant value. So he's not even, this isn't even crazy. This is a very basic analysis with a 265 price target, which is substantially higher than we are right now, roughly 50%. So I think that's kind of a big deal. I think that's one of the reasons why you saw Tesla up by % today. Now, again, I like to talk about other companies with that Elon's affiliated with because I think it's important. This image is fucking beautiful, first off, but it says SpaceX might exceed 90% of all Earth payload to orbit later this year. Once Starship is launching at a high rate, SpaceX will probably make up over 99% of the payload that goes to space for the entire world. Don't bet against this man. Don't. All right, Stock Talk says Tesla initiated a buy. This is what I was talking about with Stifle with 45% upside. And again, they're just focusing on some basic stuff like the refreshes and the fact that they might start producing the Model 2 with just a note about AI, maybe their initiative starting to make some progress and having substantial upside. But that's not even a part of the valuation. Also, for people that love Tesla recalls, Ford is recalling 668,000 10-year-old F-150s because vehicles can unexpectedly downshift into the first gear, causing a loss control or rear wheel lockup. That's a great thing to have happen if you're on the interstate and going 80 miles an hour. Have your ability to control your vehicle and have the rear wheels literally locking up. That's super excited. And yet, what are people talking about? How my fucking wipers broke on my Cybertruck. Yeah. Wow. Another one here. Sawyer Merritt posted 17,500 Teslas were insured in China last week. The best week of 2024. Best week of the year. That's good. That's good. Again, and we're looking at autonomy kicking off for subscription services in the region, which they have millions of people driving Teslas. So that's pretty sweet. Tesla sales in Italy today returned a year-over-year growth. So now we're looking at record growth in Italy for 2024. We're back above record growth. See the previous years in the other colors here. That seems like signal. Elon agrees the longer the base, the bigger the breakout for Tesla. Get ready to torch the shorts. Tesla Economics said the longer the base, the bigger the break. And then Elon said true. And with this headline of Tesla to $4,000, he's getting people excited again. He tends to do that. He'll let you know when it's overvalued. This from TrendSpider ties in really greatly with my Phase 4 video that I talked about for Tesla, where we have these long consolidation ranges. I actually argue that this is Phase 1, this is Phase 2, this is Phase 3, and then this is Phase 4, and that we're nearing the end of that, and that we're getting ready to have another tranche higher that could get us to $1,000 in the next couple of years. And if that happens, if we got to 1,000, I think it's up to $16 million I would make on my options. I won't hold them that long, though. I'd be happy. I'd be happy 10, especially when I only put 500,000 into them. If I get 10 million, I'm pretty stoked. Not gonna lie, 20x isn't bad. All right, Crossroads said Tesla. Oh, we did this one yesterday. We're done with Tesla. All right, let's move on here. We're gonna pull up some other stocks real fast, and then we're gonna get to your guys' requests. People have misunderstood Tesla price cuts. Yeah, they have. Tesla doesn't give a shit about a small change in margins. Plus, they're starting to push inventory for ones that count. They're showing people like, oh, hey, you want to buy one? Great. But if you buy this, you can actually get the $7,500 tax credit. And then people are like, oh, fuck, I can make one change and get my $7,500 tax credit. Maybe I should do that. So I just don't think people understand. And the press, Cybertruck, I've had it for over 5 weeks now, heading on 6 weeks. It gets so much fucking attention everywhere I go. Everybody's looking at it. Some are laughing. Some are like, "That's the coolest fucking thing I've ever seen." If you're a younger person, and your parents haven't taught you to hate EVs, you probably like it. That seems to be the case. But either way, even if you don't like it, people are talking about it. I don't know how many people didn't even know it was a Tesla, and then they're like, "Oh, Tesla, interesting." And then I start telling them things, and their minds are blown by it. So I think the Cybertruck is giving a level of advertising that people don't even understand right now, but that they will in the coming months and quarters and years ahead, especially with 2 million pre-orders. Now, again, PayPal is still shitting the bed, hoping to find support. It's down almost 2% today, and during the day and after hours, so it's just sucking. I'm just checking to see if my wife's talking to me about the air conditioning. Again, I'm like, it's like 80-something in here. I'm dying. But I'm still here. But so I'm still hoping to see this find support. And honestly, if Tesla keeps crushing it and I make tons of fucking money, I might add Oh, I didn't mean to do that. I might add to my 2026 position here and see if I can get a little more out of this. Let me go to weekly here. There you go. That's better. So I might actually add to my 2026 position, maybe even look for options that are further out, because I do think that there's still some hope here. I probably won't put a ton more towards it, though, because I've already lost almost $400,000 on options with this one, which is almost, like an 85-90% loss between all my positions, including my 2026. So I'm not super fond of adding more. And then I get worried because I look at X payments and I see them just continuing to get licensing across more and more states. If there's anything I'm afraid of, it is Elon as competition. Again, not that these guys can't grow, not that advertising can't bring in more revenue, not that they can't do better. They're incredibly undervalued. They deserve to be higher than they are. If I pull up PayPal right over here and look at this, it's crazy. The current valuation of PayPal when compared to other companies. Like, don't get me wrong, I love Palantir, but the valuation for the PE on that is crazy different than this. Look at this. We're almost in single digits for PayPal's forward PE and current PE ratio. If they have any kind of growth, we could be in single digits. And that's crazy. When you look at the price to free cash flow and forward PE, these are just nuts numbers, especially when you're looking at estimates that continue to show growth in all areas. It just doesn't make any sense. And you're seeing more buying and selling over time for PayPal. I mean, look at this. Since 2022, more buying from insiders. These guys think that this is undervalued and that it should do better. But then you look at stuff like, again, a number of companies that have done really well and run hard. And again, I love Palantir, but I'm just going to use it as an example. You got a 71 PE and 190 PE ratio. Again, this thing can get better. They're going to continue to grow. It's a great company. But just based upon pure valuation, you can see how there could be a multiplier behind PayPal if the narrative changes. Somebody was talking about HIMS. Let's look at HIMS. I need to go over that one too today just to give them some input. But year-over-year revenue growth of 46%, that's a beautiful number. Profit growth isn't really great. Forward PE, 100. This is super rich valuation, guys. And one could argue that maybe they're getting closer to saturation. Again, either way, this has much more downside potential at 100 PE ratio and a price to free cash flow of 83 than something like PayPal has. If PayPal has any growth in the future, and they can actually, again, profit growth was almost 20%. If they can really start to increase profits more and increase revenue more, I think we could see this forward PE jump to 30 or even 40. And if this company starts to really perform. And so, I don't know. And again, all the buybacks alone, the billions in approved buybacks, this company is cheap. It will turn around. I just don't know if it'll be by January of 2025. But I do think that it could do really well. All right, so I'm going to jump into Hood. Hood is up to no good. What are we up? 0.77, showing strength today. These are my two high targets. This is where I get more concerned about Hood when it gets to the 30 range and when it gets to the 33 range, because then we start to see previous resistance. Now, if Bitcoin's just crushing it, I don't think it fucking matters. It could go all the way up to much higher levels. I think this cycle, I don't think it's crazy for Hood to go to $77 from here. I don't think that's crazy, or to see an all-time high at 86. I don't think that's a crazy thing to ask for Hood, and I'm pretty sure we'll see it in the next year. Let me see. What do we got in comics? Tesla. You need to burn some. Okay. Sela said Tesla has a high likelihood of doubling. It's a bargain. I just want my MicroStrategy to surge soon so I can swap into Tesla. I'm actually wondering if Tesla surges before Bitcoin surges. It might happen in reverse. That happened to me years ago. I was waiting for Bitcoin to do really well, and then I was going to acquire more Tesla, and it was the exact opposite. So I think you just have to be prepared for that. And then BD said, just had to replace 2 AC units on Monday. That's dude. It does. It's hot as shit. Chris Federal, the young opinions are the only opinions that matter. I totally agree with that. Again, I specialize in what's happening in the future, and the kids people are the ones that mattered most. And the majority of them, unless they've had, their parents, Tesla is evil or Elon is evil and why, whether they're right or left, if they haven't had their mind by their parents' opinions, their raw opinion is this is the future, and that's an important thing to note. And I think and you find truth there. And so if you want to find out what the future holds, you need to pay attention to what kids are telling you, especially in regard to technology. So I do 100% agree with that. Let me see. Pete said, "What's up, brother? Tesla Leaps looking lovely. They freaking are. I'm up over 200K now on Tesla Leaps. Looking for that to grow a lot in the months and quarters ahead." Zachary Sawinski, PayPal head and shoulders, just finished on the daily. More pain to come in the next few days. I don't think so. But who knows? Over shorter time frames, who knows? I think we're just back testing support. That's what I think is happening. Pete, BGT, Vanguard Tech, ETC for long-term compound interest play for my kids. I think you misunderstood me last time and thought I was talking about a penny stock. Oh, okay. I'll have to try and pull that up here in a second. All right, so I do want to roll through some more real quick here. Let's go to SoFi. SoFi was a stinker, but then it started to get like my miner's growth. Jesse's audio backtracked a little bit and repeated. I figured it was like the Matrix glitching and someone made a change. Frozen. Fuck. Oh, you can hear me now? It's definitely on my end because I can't even get no inside temperature 63K. Fucking shit. He's back. Can you? Am I actually back? I can't fucking tell. Jesus Christ. So annoying. I still can't do a speed test worth a shit. All right. Okay. We'll just keep going. All right. So Square. I was saying before, so rudely interrupted by my connection, that Square and SoFi are two that I'm interested in potential for options. I don't know if I'm going to spend a lot of time on additional options though, because I really want to dial into those over the next 6 months to a year. I don't want to have options in anything. If anything, I want to have some hedge plays and I want to have a bunch of cash. You're back AF. Open your live stream on your cell phone to monitor connection. I might have to do that as much as I don't want to. I guess I'll have to do that. I'll just have to do that for prep. It says I'm getting connectivity now. Let's see here. Speed test. 2.5 gig down. It's not as quick as it should be, but fuck it. I'll take it. All right. But yeah, so Square, I'm continuing to monitor Square. As I said, as peak volumes are right where we're sitting, I think that there might be some great option plays here. I'm going to check those out in the coming days, especially if Tesla keeps going up. I might start nibbling with taking 1% or 2% off. If we get like another big jump throughout this week, I might take 1% and just use that to do some buying with option plays for Square and potentially SoFi. And if I do that, I'm going to create a members only video and show you guys. Yeah, so maybe my internet, everything's melting down today. I don't know what the fuck is happening. So my internet, my house, my air conditioning, everything. My microphone. And Palantir did break underneath, and now I'm starting to worry that we have, some kind of like triple top forming here. I don't know if that's true though. Palantir could still grind. Maybe we go sideways for a bit. Honestly, here's what I hope. So you know where my bias lies. I'm hoping that Palantir just sucks and goes down to 19, maybe 18. I still want to close this gap over here, this really large gap from like 20 to 17. So I hope we've got like a triple top and that it just fucking grinds down. And that's what that does while Tesla and Bitcoin are going to the moon. I want this to suck because I want to buy more of it. So that's where my bias lies, and I don't know what's going to happen in the meantime. It looked stronger yesterday as we were trying to find support on this previous level, but if we can't maintain that, then that's going to be a problem. And again, it looks more like a double top or a triple top if you count this wick right here. So we'll see what happens with it. Let me see. All right, let's look. Back. You might be back. You should have an accurate... Yeah, okay. Philip I've heard that energy will be a key constraint for AI in the future, already evident with HPC and mining. Are there any energy companies that could benefit from this trend? Yeah, I don't know. There's a lot of infrastructure that has to be built. I don't know who is building all of it, right? I think I will say this, Tesla will be a key player in it from the energy perspective because it's backups of energy. It's, again, renewables are great, but renewables just aren't doing the deed without batteries. And so Tesla, because of ridiculously low lithium prices and just other goods. Let me look here real quick. So I got lumber in front of me, continuing to suck. But let's look at lithium here. So lithium is continuing to fall through the floor. And why is this such a big deal? Let me tell you. My wife is over here talking or trying to get my attention. I feel so fucking bad because I've had so many issues. Can you guys wait one second while I try and check on my air conditioning to see if this problem can be fixed? Just give me 1 second, guys. 1 second. Yes, ma'am. All right, so it looks like $2,600 to fix my air conditioning. Super excited about that. That's fucking cool. Anyway, let's keep going. Let's move on. So at least one problem will be fixed. I will have air conditioning, which I want. So that needs to happen. All right, so let's keep going here. Where was I at? What was I talking about? What was I doing, guys? Please help me. Let me see. Might be back. Oh yeah, energy. So I think Tesla is going to be a huge part of that. I think battery backups are probably one of the biggest things that we're missing right now and that we need in the future. And I think you're going to see them playing a key role. That's what I would be focusing my attention on. I think Tesla is a huge play for AI and for energy. It's just an easy play. It's the easy button. BT, I'm a SoFi viable for this year. Would like to utilize the money for Tesla. Yeah, if we get any money from these other things, that's what I'm going to be putting money towards Tesla, and a few others. Remember those T-shirts that changed color with temperature, armpits? Hypercolor. Yes. Hypercolor was a horrible idea, and I sweat like a pig on a good day, so that was not cool. 2,600 could be worse. Yeah, sure. Still sucks, but whatever. I spent 4,500 registering my Cybertruck, so I guess it's not a big deal. ARCG down 2%. I think we're back testing here too. If you look at the weekly time frame, somebody asked about that in chat. Just look at this. I think we're finding support. So this is another one. So it's really probably an order of priority for me. It's probably like Square, ARCG, and then SoFi for looking at option opportunities. And then again, PayPal too for 2026. I'm looking at these four. If I make a bunch of money off of Tesla, I'm going to buy stock and I'm going to trickle more money into some of these option plays for like maybe 2 years out. If they're asymmetric opportunities, because I think I could do really well. So, but yeah, ARCG is another one on that list. I think it's just so easy to me for ARCG to go up like, what is it? Let's just look here. Let me realign some of these and make sure I save them. So we're looking at, a doubling in ARCG can give me like 15x on my options. So 15x, it's a great number. All right. Lots of times the capacitor that needs to be replaced, they said there's a coil that's leaking. It was leaking last time and we paid like $400 or $500 and they fixed it, but that only lasted a little over a year and I don't work that way. I like shit to work. AC guy will charge $250, but it's like $10 on Amazon, so easy to replace yourself. 2,600 means something worse. Yeah, there's leaking. Silas, yes, I was wondering about your choice of T-shirt, opposite of hypercolor. Yeah, no, this is not a hypercolor shirt. This is actually super thin. It has little holes in it, and it's really breathable. That way I don't burn up while I'm doing this. All right, let's see. So we got through. Let's jump to a few others. So Flux, we'll talk about. So my buddy, and I don't know how much this means, but I had a friend who was talking about Rex Finance, who was talking about Here, let me go back over here. He was talking about Flux, and he said that he met with the CEO and chief financial officer, I believe, and that he believes that he doesn't own enough of this. Again, small company, $53 million cap. I've not added to my position. I still have some. I have $34,000 in Flux, and I'm down 28%. That's 10,500 shares. I don't know that I'll be buying more. Maybe I will if I get bored and I make too much money off of Tesla and Bitcoin. Then I might look into it more and do more of that. Let's look at DLO real quick, and then we'll get to your guys' stock requests. So DLO maybe has found a bottom. I don't know. It's down 89% from its high going back into August of 2021. Now, D-Local, I mean, they've got good finances. And we're incredibly oversold on the weekly time frame. So I did double down on this one. It's at a 21 on the RSI on the weekly time frame, guys. This is bullshit. Unless there's complete fraud, of which I've heard some accusations about this company. I don't understand why it should go any lower than it already is. Now, the options I have for DLO, I have $35 strike, right? So that's way the fuck up here. Like way the fuck up here, right? I have that for January of 2026. Those have dropped precipitously and are down 73% from where I purchased them. So they're only worth 21K, and I put 71 into them. So they're really bad. But I don't know. I'm going to do more research on this one, and when I do get around to that, if I see that these guys, like, this is bullshit, and I see some good 2026 plays, maybe a different strike. Maybe 35 is becoming too ambitious. But I do think it's possible. But I might end up getting more of these, or maybe selecting a different strike. But here's the thing I don't get. When I look at the financials of this company, and again, maybe I haven't done enough due diligence, but just looking at the financials of this company, it's great. Outside of having a lower than expected Q1, and the net income again is getting lower. I don't love that, and I don't understand why it's happening. But when I look at estimates, it looks like it should be recovering in the quarters ahead. If it does, I think we're going to get a bounce. So if I get bored, only got 21K in this. I might put another 10 just to see if I can recoup the funds or let it go to zero. I don't really give a shit. It's like less than 1%. It's not enough money for me to care about. Portfolio. But I will let you guys know if I get any other input on this. Let me see here. Do lots of times. It's just I already talked about that. What's your entry point for ARKG? Kathy Wood in her interview with Kevin was raving about the upcoming advances in many of the top 10 holdings that they have due to AI adoption. I think my ARKG, my 2026, I got a 50 strike, January 2026. So that's a little over a year and a half to play out. They're down 32% from where I bought them. But these are option contracts. I don't own the stock right out. So if they continue to drop, I will buy more of that. And I might get like June contracts even. But again, I don't want to get too much into options. I'm trying to dial out. That's the goal. Any thoughts on Rivian and VW joint venture? I think it's bullshit. There are a few Rivians near me. I love Rivian. Volkswagen is constantly lying, constantly cheating emissions tests. They're not a good company. I believe they're dying. I think this is like a Hail Mary for them. It reminds me of the Nikola investment, even though Nikola was just a complete fraud of a company. It reminds me of the Nikola investment with GM and Mary Barra, how they invested in Nikola, and that was just garbage. But this time, I'd say Rivian is a decent company. I don't think they can ramp. They still lose so much money per vehicle, and it's not acceptable. You have to in this business. You have to make money. You can't be losing $50,000 a car. You can't. And their new vehicle isn't even going to be around until 2026, and they just have to survive until then. And if we look at Rivian, let's just look at Rivian. Okay, let's pull it up and see what does Rivian look like from their financials, just super fast, and then I'm going to move on. Because you can get a huge amount of money, and I don't even think their deal was that good when looking at it. But so you're losing in a quarter $1.4 billion. Is $5 billion really fucking anything? Is it fucking anything? Tell me. What is that, 3 fucking quarters? 3.5 quarters? It doesn't mean shit. Now, if you made a bunch of money off of Rivian over a short period of time, how'd that stock do today? Let's look. And I did have money in Rivian a couple of quarters ago, but I gave up on them real quick. The quarter was just so bad. So I don't think they've made up their losses since then. Look at this fucking thing. Look at this turd. So yeah, if you were able to make the people that made 40 to 50%, that was a great exit. That's what I would be doing. That's what I would do. I'd get the fuck up. Do you think that miners are the AI related will outperform non-AI miners for a short period of time? The narrative right now is for AI miners, but I think that shifts over time because Bitcoin is going to outperform. And I think there's so many people buying chips, or buying graphic cards, NVIDIA graphic cards, and thinking that they've got, and some of them are getting contracts right away, but eventually that stuff starts to dry up as there's an abundance of processing power. I think you're going to see more and more of that. Again, I don't know when you see it though. So maybe they outperform the entire fucking cycle, the AI narrative, with an AI narrative. It's possible, but I wouldn't chase companies like Iron that ran up 300% in 6 weeks. It's stupid. Don't chase shit like that. It'll only hurt you, and then you'll be like, and then you'll jump into Iron, and then it'll underperform for 6 months, and people will be like, why isn't Iron doing better? It's not the AI narrative. It's like, well, it went 3% in a fucking 6 weeks, so maybe don't throw all your money into it. Crazy thought, right? So stick with the ones you have. In my opinion, CleanSpark, Mara, Cypher, all of these are good companies. There's other ones out there that are probably decent too. I don't like Hut, and I've let you guys know what I think about companies that don't hold Bitcoin. I think it's fucking stupid. So I can't recommend those. But they could outperform. It doesn't matter. Just make your money. Use your multiplier. All of these, the rising tide floats all boats. It sinks them too. Michael Myers, one of the big wigs from Melee, came over to DLO. Oh, that's cool. That's cool. I doubt he would leave a great company for a shitty one. That's cool. I'll have to look that up, Michael. Thank you for that input, man. BT reminds me of Tyson signing with Dan King. Rivian would have been bankrupt at end of year due to cash burn. They bought maybe one. Exactly, BD. That's exactly what I'm talking about. This is just such a shitty investment. I would not put energy into it. Honest to God. Honest. And thank you for the input on DLO, Michael. I'll do some more research on it. I have to get caught up. I've been trying to enjoy life and focus on my health, and so there's things that I need to get caught up on, and as I do, I'm going to provide more and more value to you guys. I know that. It's just hard. I can't be tuned into this stuff all the time. A human being's got to live, and I'm already rich, so Bitcoin and Tesla are going in the years, and along with many other great companies. So it's like, you can only make so much money in your existence before you die and you go into the ground and everybody forgets that you were even here. In 100 years, all of us, everybody that's listening to this and myself, will be gone. Probably less, right? So it doesn't really matter that much. Make your money, but try and have balance in life. It's very important. All right, let's go back through chat here and see what else we got. Let's see what sucks. What do you all think of GitLab? I have missed the IPO and only realized today. I don't know what that is. Let's look. It's probably, let's see if there's actually, let's look at this from two vantage points, right? First off, if it's really new, I don't know if it'll be in here. Oh no, it is. Okay. Alejandro does such a great job with visual stocks. I love it. So these guys have 33% year-over-year growth. They don't make money. They lost 54 million last quarter, and they made 169. So not a lot of money being made yet. Let's look at what their estimates. They're high in cash and have no debt. I like that. They've got about $1 billion in cash and bonds. So they're making good interest off of 650 million in bonds. That's cool. EBIT looks bad. EPS looks like it's ticking up. Growth still seems to be there. I don't know enough about the company, though, to be able to tell you if this is something that's really going to be a good deal. Let's see what do we have for PE. Forward PE is 115. Seems rich. I would stay away from it right now and do research. That's my take. Kamala, hey, Jesse, please review Crex and ALAR if you have time. Looking forward to the stream. Okay. I told you guys I'm going to be doing a lot of different ticker symbols today since I'm getting caught up. So let's do this. And especially for the people that stuck around with all the fucking issues I've been having. All right, Creative Realities, I'm assuming that's what you mean by Crex. It's got a 24% year-over-year revenue growth. The forward PE is 71, so it's rich. There was a lot of debt in this company, but it looks like that disappeared this last quarter. Not a lot of cash at all. They've been diluting. Let's look at the yearly, see if there's any other pictures. So they had some issues with growth in 2020 and 2021, but it got a lot better. Look at the outstanding share issuance in 2023. Holy. Operating expenses are trending up. They don't look great. Let's see what estimates are. Estimates are kind of like increased revenue. What is that? 16 million in a quarter. Not really making any profits. What are the insiders doing? I mean, they did some decent buying in 2021, 7 million shares. Institutional ownership has been ticking up. Short interest is very low. Free cash flow has been increasing a lot. These are good things. Stock-based comp has gotten a lot better. Operating leverage. I mean, it's hard without knowing a lot about this company. It looks like it's headed down the right path, but a 71 PE is pretty high. And what do? Let's just read here. Louisville, Kentucky, software applications specialize in enhancing customer experiences through advanced omni-channel technologies, whatever that means. Serving a wide range of industries with design, development, and deployment of consumer experiences for high-end networks, along with offering SaaS and support services since its inception 15 years ago. The company has expanded, including the acquisition of Allure. I don't know. This just doesn't seem like a service and support business. I don't know. I don't know enough about this business. It seems rich. Let's look. It doesn't seem like an asymmetric opportunity to the upside, which is what I love. Let's look at ALAR. That's a car. Oh, hit something. Whatever the fuck that was. ALAR. No, I don't even know if I have this one. What is it? ALAR, if you have time. I don't know what that is. This is alarm. Let me see if I can pull up the actual stock ticker. Maybe I can do it this way. I'll make a copy here. ALAR. If I can type. Harder to do that on this mic keyboard. It's the only thing I miss about my PC. Is that the alignment on the keys don't quite line up with my brain. Wow, this thing's went up a lot. Wow. This thing was a penny stock at $2 in July. A year ago. And now it's 33. I can't say much about this, man. They obviously had some decent growth. It's a $185 million company. Revenue is $8 million. Net income is 1.44. It looks like they're doing the right stuff. I mean, they're actually profitable for the last 3 quarters, whereas it was a money loser, and they've got revenue growth. This might be something to pay attention to. Alejandro, if you're watching this, can you let me know why this isn't coming up? And you know what? Maybe I just need to look it up by name. Alarum. Let me pull that up. Let me see if I can find it that way. Sometimes these are hard. Nope, I still don't think I got it. Alarum. Yeah, if you could check into that, Alejandro, that would be amazing. So I'll add this on a one to kind of keep an eye out for. Because there does appear to be some strong growth here, and it's a very small stock, so it'd be interesting to see if this could be anything. So I'll keep an eye out for that one, and we'll see if we can get it on Visual Stocks too. I'll talk to Alejandro and see if we can have it updated by tomorrow. All right, so next one, Jay the Savage says MBLY. So let me take a look. I'm going to save this one real quick. I think I actually already have MBLY. Let me just double check. Nope, I don't. So let me make a copy. Thought I did. Let me just save it real quick. And while I'm typing, yeah, if you guys have any input about any of the things, this is Mobileye too. I don't know if I love Mobileye. But it's up 8%. Gotta love that. I should have made the copy off another one because I don't have RSI and MACD and any of that stuff sitting in here. So I don't know. Maybe we've got a bottom. Let me look at it from the finance standpoint. They did have a massive drop in Q1 of 2024. Let's look at it over here. And visual stocks. New little bubble video today. I'll have to see, make sure that one doesn't demonetize me, but that'd be cool to check out. So here's what I don't like about Mobileye. Look at the revenue drop. I knew they had some issues with contracts going away, but look at this, 637 million down to 239, and a net income loss of 218 million. Forward PE of 43.79. Makes it look not too crazy. If you go to the yearly here, you can see how they were getting on a path to profitability. But again, it kind of fell off a cliff last quarter. Let's see what they look like for as far as estimates. So they're acting like they're going to get back to their revenue. So maybe by the end of the year, they get back to what they were in Q4 of 2023. So we'll see if that happens. Let's look at activity here. So if we go back, Q2 of 2023, we see some pretty large sales and a lot less buying. So I don't know what to make of this. Again, I hate the fact that their revenue dropped underneath operating expenses this last quarter from what was a nice looking trend higher. What I don't know about their contracts in the future though, so there could be a lot of stuff going on with this. I can't tell you if it's a good deal or not, just because I hate the drop in revenue. I hate that drop. I mean, losing 2/3 of your revenue in a quarter from the previous quarter is fucking crazy. So is this company going anywhere anymore? Do they have any real contracts, or is it just going to be a company that dies that looks like, maybe there's some value there, but really they're not needed because of Tesla and all the contracts that they have? Danny Ventura, good afternoon. Jesse, how are you? Can you please review BITF? I can. It's probably like a lot of the other miners, but I can at least let you. I think it has outperformed, though. I don't know if it's outperformed the way that Iron and Wolf and some of these others like Hut have. Oh, no, I guess it's retraced a decent amount from the 330 range. So, again, we have a fib level here. We have the 200 moving average on the weekly sitting here, so it could drop to the 250 range. It's all about what Bitcoin does, though. I do think that this one can outperform. It's a $1 billion market cap, so it's not as cheap as it was when it was down here at the $1.50 range, and it doubled. It's a little less than double now, but it had a really good run, right? So, but this thing, I think in short order, it could get up to the $4 range as long as Bitcoin starts moving higher. And I think that'll happen in the next month. It could happen sooner. I don't really care. But this one could do all right. I don't know what's going to happen, though. I heard that Riot's backing away from their attempt to try and acquire. These guys poison-pilled them. So I don't know. It's a Canadian-based company. They are starting to do business in the U.S. I don't know. You could own it. It's a small cap. It's not a large cap at $1 billion. Maybe this thing can go much higher. I've got a target of up to 40. I don't know if it'll hit it, but I think it could do this, $16 range very easily. So that doesn't seem like a bad number. All right, let me go back to some of these others again. Back from the beginning. Somebody was talking about Celsius, chart and financials, please. It's taken a big hit recently. It probably deserves one. I hate to say that. It's been a great ride for people on the Celsius train, but I see it everywhere. And people drink it, but where's the growth? If you have a massive amount of growth over a period of time, and then you have 2 quarters where the revenue looks like it's tabling off, how much growth do you still have in this company? And with a 55 PE and a 50 forward PE, one could still argue that it's a little overvalued. Let's see what their estimates, though. They're still showing some growth, albeit slower, and kind of a flattening of EPS. What are the insiders doing? Well, I think their actions should tell you what they think is coming next. Even in 2020, they were selling. They've really started selling in 2024. Some pretty massive numbers. 23,640 shares. Well, not massive, but some decent insider selling. So they're not thinking we're in a really cheap zone here. And it just all depends on what the company does next for growth. And if we look at the stock, let's just look at the trading side of it. Yeah, that looks like a double top. And could it be finding a base here? It could be doing that. That's possible. So maybe it's finding a base. It was at $100. It dropped. It got cut in half by 50% almost. But this looks like a double top. The good thing is the measured move is only like down to 50 or maybe 47, because what happens is you got this W bottom that's now a double top because it's in the other direction. So maybe it overshoots into the 40s, and maybe it gets down to here, but it shouldn't drop much further. It does look like it got rejected off the 200, but now we're just in this trading range where I don't know what's going to happen next. Really dependent upon fundamentals for this company. We do have a little bit of the bullish divergence that looks like it's forming, but I don't know if I can get too excited. Let's look at what the weekly looks like between the RSI and the MACD. Yeah, I don't know. It could go further. It could go further. This RSI could go to oversold conditions just because it's done so well, maybe even down into the 30s. I just don't think that this is a good place to hold money right now. I don't see where the great asymmetric opportunity is with Celsius. That's my take. Again, hey, Jesse, congrats to Tesla gains. Thanks, man. I appreciate it. Albert, hey, Jesse, what are your thoughts on miners that also do AI business versus pure BTC miners? I think that and I can be wrong, that miners with large Bitcoin holdings will outperform by the end of this cycle. So I think companies that have high hash rate, that have the right levels of growth, that are profitable, companies like CleanSpark, companies potentially like Mara, Cypher, I think they end up doing better and beating the AI narrative, but I could be wrong. But again, I think that if you have a strong growth trend where you're making tons of extra revenue, if your net income is starting to really blossom, if your cash position is really strong, if you have the ability and have been acquiring others while having 163% revenue growth year over year like CleanSpark here, that you have a great opportunity. Now, the forward PE looks evil at 666. It looks evil. But again, if they double revenue or have a 50% increase in revenue quarter over quarter, if you start to see some of these really strong gains from Bitcoin's prices going up, and look at their estimates, they have it by the end of the year starting to really see some revenue increases. If you start to see some of that, you're going to see this doing better and better and better. Looks like these guys were kind of smart and sold a decent amount of shares not too long ago, at the beginning of the year, so about 5 months ago. But let's look at IREN in here. Let's look at IREN and can do a comparison here. So if it comes up. So forward PE actually looks pretty conservative here. It's at 16. Doesn't look crazy. 376% revenue growth year over year. But the revenue growth is 54 million and the net income is almost non-existent and the cash flow is still negative. So there's a number of things that don't look great from this perspective, but again, we are seeing that IREN has the right narrative, and their projection for growth is solid. Look at this. From the 54 million in revenue, they're expecting a 130 here soon. So if they end up seeing strong revenue growth from the AI over the short term, they could outperform. I kind of liking Mara again. I don't know if I like it. I have I don't know, how much do I have? I have almost 200,000 or probably over 200,000 between all my accounts in it. So I think it can do well, like a lot of these. But I actually still think Mara is one of the best run companies by far. And I think they're going to see some wicked growth with their hash rate increases that you can't quantify on this yet. And Mara, again, so we saw the revenue growth of what IREN expected for the end of the year to be at like 125 million or 150 million, whatever it is. Mara's already there at 165 million in revenue growth. And then they have a wicked amount of Bitcoin holdings in dollars. Look at this growth, $1.234 billion in their Bitcoin holdings. So the ability to scale and to grow larger and to do better, if these guys get bored, they could jump heavy into the AI narrative, just like all these other companies. But from my experience, I don't know. I don't think that these things are going to do as well as people think they're going to do. That's my take. Could be wrong. It's possible. I haven't focused as much on the mining play because I've learned over the last two cycles that most of the time it doesn't fucking matter. You just don't want to be in the companies that are going to fail. That's the only thing that really matters. All right, let's see. We got Enphase. Ryan asked for Enphase. Let's look at Enphase. Let's see how the stock's doing. I haven't looked at it in a while. Let me save Celsius here. And again, this is a company that's going to do better when rates start to come down. And they haven't. I haven't owned this one for a while, but again, once it broke down out of this upward trend and started to grind underneath of it, and now it's been rejected off of it, that just sucks. That really sucks. They've still got a $14 billion market cap. They're down, almost 70% from their high. That was in December of 2022. So they got a ways to go higher, but they got to have the revenues to do it. And let's just see where they're sitting over here. And it's going to be hard in a high rate environment. They really need rates to start to come down to get some optimism. And even then, if rates come down, I think people are going to care more about refinancing and buying houses at lower rates. They're going to care about like refinancing a car and trying to get it at a lower rate. I don't know if they're going to be like, hey, let's go spend some money on some inverters for solar out of the gate. I don't know if that's where the attention's going to be. Let me see here. I hope I'm not locking up again. Okay, good. Enphase. Here we go. So look at revenue by regions. Look at the pain and suffering here. Look at that. Just from revenues of almost $500 million in Q4 2022 to revenues of 149 in the United States. This is just the U.S. And then you can see international there too. But all of it is suffering. Look at that. Look at that. That sucks. Generations and storage shipped. Like, these numbers are so bad. And I don't know when they're going to get better. And it's still operating at an almost 30 forward PE, which is rich for a company that's seen 64% drops in their revenue. So I don't know, man. I don't know. Their free cash flow is almost non-existent. I don't know when this turns around. It could be a while. That's my take. So I don't know. All right, let me keep going down. I got a bunch of people talking about the audio issues, so we're getting closer to now. And thanks again, Daniel, for joining. I appreciate you, sir. Can you check the TA on the darling Fubo? It's still down 60% in 6 months. Fubo is such a shit company. Yeah, I will. I own this stock as an opportunity for a bounce, but I think it's just a value trap. When I did research I literally signed up with Fubo to compare it against YouTube TV and then a bunch of other applications because there's so many streaming services like this. I know these guys have a niche in sports, but I don't even think that's going to stick around. And they've got subscription revenue looking okay. Their cash is burning and their debts are not going down. They're free. They haven't really gotten out of negative cash flow at all, right? They're still losing $55 million in a quarter. Now their estimates are for a little bit continued growth, but still nothing else is really changing. Now, lots of insider investing here. I mean, I shouldn't say lots, but like some. This is 3,000 shares. That's cool. They really bought their shares back in Q4 of 2020. But short interest is still strong. We could see squeezes on this. But I just don't know that this is a good investment. The company's just never been profitable and has so much fucking competition. And there was nothing about their service to me that stood out as good. In fact, what sucked about it is I can picture and look at how this looks. This is so fucked up because they used to be way up here when they were something else. Look at this, $22,000 a share. Now they're penny stock basically. So I have to do this. I have to widen out the range to subtract out a bunch of years just to get to any relevancy for where we are today. I mean, look at this. This is fucking ridiculous. But this is just a bleed. This RSI, you would assume that it can turn around. But I don't know. It's $353 million cap. I don't know if this company is going to be around in the future. I just don't. I don't know if there's anything real about this that separates them from other companies. Maybe there's an acquisition. Maybe there's an opportunity here to like buy some calls at like a couple of like $2 or less, right? Or $1.50 or something, a really low target. And then have that really exceeded because some company buys it, like Google buys them and absorbs their customers at 250 and you do really well. Something like what happened with Matterport when, I doubled my money and other people that listened to me made a bunch. So maybe you see something like that with Fubo. Outside of that, though, I just don't think it's a good investment, man. I really don't. Check Honest, please, Paul. Yes, I can do that. So yeah, sorry, Mr. Castorano. I wish I had a more positive message for Fubo. I wanted to like this company. I wanted to. I bought this and tried to make money off of it, and I ended up exiting just because I didn't see how they have anything that's special outside, again, kind of a stronger sports package. But now they're having to sue, I think, to maintain a lot of that. The Honest Company. So up 11% today, 2% after hours. Wow, that's quite the bounce off the RSI on the daily time frame, almost into oversold or overbought conditions in a very short period. To anybody who bought this at $2 and got up near 3. That is a nice move. 287 million cap. Let's look at it over here on visual stocks and see how they're doing. There we go, Honest Company. All right, so not a high growth company, right? Like not a high growth company. Still not really making money. Falls into the retail space. I don't know if that's a good sector I want to be in right now. Not a lot of short interest. Positive free cash flow. That's cool. Only making like 86 million a quarter. Been doing that for a while. If we go back here, not a lot of growth year over year, really for a very long time. I don't know anything about their product line. Let's look at their estimate here and see where it's supposed to go going forward. People doing due diligence on Jeremy's plays, lol. Yeah, that's honestly, Jeremy got me interested in it, and I like Jeremy. I think he's got a lot of value, but I think some things he's also completely off on, and Fubo I think would be one of those. But he's a good dude. I like Jeremy a lot. I mean, he got rich, right, from investing. He went from like working at a fucking Kinko's to, having multi-million-dollar houses and living a pretty good life. So that said, he does have a lot of course material and he's making a lot of, I think he could fuck up on when you're doing what Jeremy's doing, and this is not a diss on him at all, but I just want to throw it out there, right? When you have tons of courses, well, I'm waiting for this shit to load anyway. While you have tons of courses and revenue coming in from that, and you've got a massive YouTube channel, and you've got revenue coming in from that, and I can tell you from my tiny ass YouTube channel that my revenue right now, I think, is about $3,000 a month, with me doing much less than I was doing, a month ago. So I'm doing pretty good. What do you think Jeremy's getting? So Jeremy could be a complete fucking idiot on his investments and still be making shit tons of money every year. That's kind of the fucked up part, right? So like when you have people, when you charge a lot of money on courses and like you're doing all these revenue streams, it's great for Jeremy, but I don't think it necessarily speaks to your ability to invest. Even though he does, the thing I like that he does do is he has like a portfolio that he shares. Not a lot of people do that, man. So I give him huge props for that. But you can fuck up a lot when you're making just tons of money from people, right? But I don't know if that's a good way to like prove your investment abilities and your due diligence and all that kind of stuff. All right, anyway, let's move on. So Honest here. So estimates don't look great. This just doesn't, I don't think Honest is a great company. It's not an asymmetric opportunity. I don't think specialty retail is a space that I would want to be in right now. That's my take, Paul. Excited to join your group. Thank you, Daniel. Albert, what do you think might be a catalyst for us to go greed or extreme greed? Great earnings, lower CPP. I think it's going to be a combination of talk of rate cuts. It's going to be inflation continuing to come down because, again, we know that some of the inflation that exists out there is not inflation that should exist for long because it's in things like, insurance, like especially with cars. We're seeing, inflated taxes. We're seeing inflated insurance or premiums across the real estate market. There's just a lot of stuff right now that I think can deflate and bring down consumer prices and producer prices, along with China's demise. So I think we could see a weakening in the inflation narrative, but we could still see strength in America and other areas that are still seeing strong investment dollars. Again, a doubling of what our standard rate of investment is in this country from international markets has been going on in the last, half a year. And so I think my narrative is that we're going to continue to see people rushing towards, the U.S. as a safe haven. And so I think that continues. We're the cleanest shirt in the dirty laundry. And so I think all of these things could push us into extreme greed. And let me look at that real quick. The CNN Fear and Greed Index. I haven't focused on this a lot lately. I wish they did a better. There might be a paid service. I got to check. I'm actually paying for a few right now. But I'd like to see historical timelines over longer time frames, not just going back to June of 2023, but going back years, a decade, because this has been around for a while. I'd like to see how all this looks. But I do like that we've been grinding in this extreme fear range for a while, or this fear range, I should say, the neutral to fear, and even down, almost to extreme fear. I like this along with everything else that I'm seeing. Market momentum keeps chugging. We're extreme fear for stock price strength. I think that if we start to see, let's see, stock breadth, extreme fear. So again, I think that small caps have underperformed for so long. If they start to perform, we're going to see a big shift here. And I think that will send us higher. And when it does, I mean, from being in fear territory to extreme greed, there's a lot of money to be made, especially if Tesla's outperforming when the market isn't going anywhere like today. And Bitcoin's going to outperform. We know that. Let me see here. So BT says, can you list the video notes or do a post in D and your exact setup for TA? We got to get that Jesse Hot setup to follow along. Oh, I did do something like that. I showed my technical indicators and what I used in a previous video. It might be called like look up micro to macro and like trading view, I think. And I've got some of it in there. On X. Young Dave, Jesse, your mic is... Okay, back to that. Let's go through all this and see if we can get to anything else. Make sure I'm not missing anything here. You need to burn some shares. Okay, keep going. PayPal, Head and Shoulders. All right, skip that. Going down. Trying to see if I'm caught up here. Freezing. All right, any more. C-List, you might be back. Okay. All right, I'm starting to get caught up here, I think. I already did ARCG. Let me see here. What else do we have? Intel. Yes. Yeah, let's look at chips. That's a great idea. I didn't do that yesterday, and I know NVIDIA did really well. Let's see what we got here. I'll pull up, before I do Intel, I actually want to look at NVIDIA. I haven't looked at this chart in a while. I want to see how she's doing. SpaceX $1 billion contract with NASA. Is the mic still glitching? I can try the Mac one for a second and see if it helps. Let me know if it is. But yeah, this is a $500 mic, so theoretically it should work. What's going on here? I do not seem to have... This chart, it looks effed. Something is hidden. I don't know what's going on with this. Let me see if I can reset. There we go. All right, cool. Let me get rid of the auto fit. All right, so not too much to say here. I'll have to redraw some things to kind of look at it. I'm going to save this real quick because I don't know why this was broken to begin with. Mic has been good as of late. Okay, cool. Thank you. Yeah, I don't know if it's the mic. It's probably some bullshit. I need to update OBS again and maybe this mic software. It says that there's a firmware update. I'll just check it out. Next time, though, I do think I like your idea, though. Whoever said that in chat, I might have missed it. I like the idea of just switching to the Mac mic and seeing if that fixes it next time. So I'm going to probably do that right away if I have further issues. And I'll try and test some of this offline. Intel has just been gutted, hasn't it? Jeez, it had such a beautiful bounce to 51, and now we're down in the 30 range. That's crazy. But the question is Intel actually going to start benefiting anytime soon Intel might be a good play in the future because there's so much government money coming into it to make it a foundry. But are they going to be benefiting massively in the future from what's happening with NVIDIA and AI? And I just don't know. I don't know. I mean, graphics cards seem to be where the business is at. We do see some increases in revenue expected. That's good. We can see buying activity, lots of insider buying activity. But look, again, I mean, it isn't much, actually, I should say, when you compare to the amount of selling from Q1 of 2022. But I just don't know. I don't know enough about what's happening with this company. It's got single-digit revenue growth year over year. It's got a forward PE of 23. And their revenues have been in decline for data center and AI revenues since Q4 of 2021. Nothing really exciting here. I would expect that they'll do better. I haven't been impressed. Patrick Gelslinger has been saying a lot of great things about what's happening in the company in the future, but I've been hearing him say that for a couple of years, and I'm not seeing any real improvement whatsoever. So I'm not super excited about the company, man. I would love to be in the future, but they've got to prove themselves. Let me see. What is this other one here? I'm going to make a copy. Litton says XMTR. I don't know what that is, but I'll try and pull it up. Oh. There we go. Xometry. Woof. Woof. So it's done a lot of dropping. It was almost $100. It's 12. So let's look and see if this has anything good about it. So they just lose money all the time. Lost 16 million last quarter, made 122. Revenue's going up. Estimates are that they're going to lose less. That's good. It's a $633 million company, but again, they just haven't been able to prove. They look like they were almost kind of trending in the right direction, but it had a setback. Got share dilution, negative free cash flow of 12 million. Like, they're not losing tons of money. But the question is, when are they going to start making more money? And they have been doing small amounts of insider buying. I don't know. It's nothing too exciting. What is their stock dilution? 5% of revenue. That's not horrible. Industrial machinery. What does it say? Pioneering AI-driven marketplace. Fuck, I already hate this. Just because, like, the AI narrative. Xometry is pioneering the AI-driven marketplace that revolutionizes the manufacturing industry by facilitating the efficient sourcing of an on-demand manufactured parts and assemblies, connects buyers from startups to Fortune 100 companies with sellers of manufacturing services, helping them expand their business. That's a whole lot of word salad. It doesn't seem to be making them a lot of money. Again, revenue growth is good. Double-digit revenue growth is good, but can you do it profitably? So I don't know. Again, the stock lost 90%. That sucks. I don't know if it deserves to do better, though, because it doesn't make money. It all depends on how much you know about this company. If it's a really great company, then cool. Buy it. Kamawa, ALR, Info, data collection company, their subsidiary, NetNut. Are you kidding me? Is that the name? Has triple-digit revenue growth, 166% NRR. Is in marketing, growing nearly 30% CAGR until 2030. All right, cool. All right, that helps, man. I'll keep looking at that one. Like I said, it's on my list, so cool. Let me see. What do you think of HRTX says less? Let's look at it. Let me go over here first, just to see what this company. Haran Therapeutics. So this is probably like a biomed company. Let's see. Biotech. Yes. 22% short interest. Ooh, I'm not going to hate on this. What a trend. Huh. A biomed company that doesn't lose money? What the fuck is this? HRTX. Huh. Wow. 34 million in revenue and only lost 3 million. Shared Solution has started to table off. They're indebted, don't have a ton of cash. Operating expenses are declining, though. A company that actually manages their operating expenses, but the R&D budget is dropping. So, like, is it because they've done such a great job figuring out their product? I don't know enough about this company. If you guys have insights, please let me know. Les, what you know about this company. I'd be curious, man. This is interesting, though. MU is tanking after earnings. We can take a look at that in a second. Any thoughts on Uber CEO selling 50%? Yeah, Uber is going to get fucked by Tesla autonomy. And he's a smart man. If I was him, I would be selling that stock and buying Tesla. That's what I'm guessing he's doing. But look at this cash flow, actually trying to get to positive, net income starting to increase. This isn't complete shit. $600 million company. And they've been buying back some stock. Lots of stock since Q1 of 2023. Cool. I mean, not a ton, but like a decent amount. Short interest is really high for a company that seems to be guiding higher and towards profitability. I mean, the free cash flow went negative again. But damn, revenue per employee, look at that. Starting to really guide higher. I love that. This is a good one to keep an eye on, man. Stock-based comp is still almost 10% of revenue, so that could do better. But a profitable biotech, or I should say getting close to profitable, that's a rarity. I wonder what their product line is. I really need to know more about their product line. That's fascinating. Let me jump over to MU. So I'm not going to look at the stock right now on this one, but interesting, man. Very interesting. Only 126 employees. Not a huge company. But that's a lot of biotechs, right? Let's look at... Oh, wait. Let me go to the stock side and look at MU here and see how they're doing. Let me see. I'm going to pull up one where I already have a lot of charting so I can copy off of that so I don't lose it all. Because I want the RSI and the MACD and all that stuff in here. Maybe I have MU though. Yeah, I do. Cool. All right, so Micron is down 6.47. That's not really tanking. I wouldn't call that tanking. Really big wick though. Woof, look at that wick. Look at that wick from the 1.618. So again, this company went from January of 2023, $49 up to $160. So they had a really good run. $157 billion cap. This is a hell of a wick to have to overcome on the weekly time frame. That looks like shit. Looks like we could retest into the 120s. And what is the PE and all that on MU? Let's look. Micron 20. That's not bad. But let's see, what's their guide? Huh? They were guiding for all the right stuff. When was earnings on this one? Go to the daily. Literally happening right now. Date, period ending, June 24th. So, yes, a couple days ago. All right. Well, I don't know. It doesn't look too bad. I don't know why this one's tanking after hours. Maybe there's some news. Let's see what this says. Micron stocks falls after earnings as revenue forecast fails to pack big upside. Okay, so it's just expectations were too high. How can I send you my notes? Probably on X. Here, let me do that. Give me your X account ID. I'll follow you, and then you can send me a message. Just do that, Les. Because I am curious. I'd love to find out more about that stock. HRTX looks very interesting. There's not a lot of biotechs that make money. All right, let me see. Let me see what else we got here. I think I'm pretty close to caught up, man. Oh, here's one. BRFH. And if I missed any, guys, throw it back out there. I might have missed someone going through the chat here. But I'm going to look at this one. Management has credible path to 100 million plus in sales, 22 million plus in EBITDA, but the stock is only trading at 3x my full year 2025 estimates. Okay, let me look. Make a copy. All right. BRFH. I'll probably pull this one up on the stock and BRFH. Okay. Barfresh. It looks like Barfresh. Barfresh. Barfresh food. That's an interesting. Wow, it is quite the fucking change from April at $1. Huh. That's a hell of a jump, man. From $1 to $4 almost. That's a hell of a jump. Let's look at what we have here. You guys have some very interesting stocks. Let's see here. 35% revenue growth year over year. Wow, this one already not a profitable company. Don't love that. Don't love how the cash has been run down. Don't love the stock dilution. Don't love the negative free cash flow. But very curious what you have for input. They are doing some buying of their stock, not huge amounts, but some. Estimates are good. Well, I mean, except for EBITDA. Yeah, I don't know. I just like to see profit. What is their stock-based comp? 13%. I mean, it looks like things could be heading in the right direction, and if they're getting profitable, man, like they could potentially still be undervalued. I'm curious what you believe though, as far as the. I'm not on X. Stopped using a long time ago. I'll check later on this account. Thanks, Les. Yeah, X is a great. If you stopped using it a long time ago, man, I would suggest if it was when it was Twitter, I would go back to it. It's a really great place to communicate, and it makes it a lot easier than just YouTube. You could throw some information. I don't know if you have any other, like if you have a social media where you have anything saved as far as that information online in another social media platform. You could add that in the comments of this YouTube video, and I could click on a link and go to it. So whatever you have as far as a way to share, that might work too. But X is a great platform nowadays, man. Definitely check me out on it if you haven't already. Yeah, so Kamau, I'd be curious what you believe is going to be sending this higher. Definitely, though, it could be undervalued if they hit some of these estimates and we see this growth in like Q3 and Q4 like they're talking about, then this could go higher. It's only a $53 million stock, so very interested. If you have anything on this one too, very interested to hear more about it. If I end up doing really, really well off Tesla in the coming months and Bitcoin in the coming year, I am going to want to look towards other opportunities. LinkedIn, yeah, whatever you have, dude. Just throw it in the end comments after the video, and I can take a look at it. Whatever you have for a link. All right, don't forget VGT. Yes, that's the one. I knew there was another one I was going to forget here. Let me look at it from. And this is a Vanguard fund, though? Vanguard play for long-term compound interest play over. Okay, so let me just look. So I probably can't pull that up in visual stocks. There's nothing really to report on. I don't know if there's much I can look at outside of price action for this one. VGT, let me see. I don't have it saved, so let me do this. I'm going to click on, which one was good? I think Micron was good. I'll make a copy off of this one. Then I'll add VGT. Okay. VGT. Vietnam National Text and Garmin. What is this? So I don't even know if I can pull this up. Is this like a 401k investment? Or is this in an actual IRA? Is the ticker symbol? Because I'm not seeing it, man. Oh, wait, let me go back. I'm in stocks. There we go. That's better. It's my filtering that's the problem. So I don't know what they're invested in. The problem I have with this is I can't really say much about Vanguard Information Tech in regard to what its overall returns will be. Is it big into AI? What do they like? What's their portfolio allocation? All that kind of stuff. There isn't much I can look at because I can't probably pull this up in visual stocks. And then because there's just no earnings or anything like that if it's just a portfolio allocation. So, but I mean, it's nice. Let's see, dividends are nice. It was at 296 in October of 2022, and it's almost doubled since that time. This just isn't my cup of tea normally. I don't invest in like ETFs, just wrappers of things normally outside of ARC Genomics, just because it's got an asymmetric opportunity on the options play. Otherwise, I don't really touch this stuff normally, man. So I don't know what to say in regard to that. It looks like it's probably like if you this was for your kids, between the dividends and the returns that you get over time in the tech sector. If you don't want to do a bunch of research on individual stocks, again, great, or I should say decent play since October of 2022. But you could have owned like Nvidia and done really well, or it all depends. This is probably better for people that want to diversify their risk, want to invest in the category. I can't hate on it. It's just not my cup of tea. Again, I'm looking for asymmetric bets. I like 10xers, 20xers. Anyway, Bar Fresh, which sells USDA-approved ready-to-drink smoothies and juice concentrates to schools across America, has rapidly captured about 10% of the market, with a 6% of that growth occurring this year. Despite projecting record revenues and profitability for 2024 and having a viable plan to achieve over $20 million EBITDA within 3 to 5 years, Barfresh's stock is still at historic lows. Huh. Yeah, I'd probably have to look at the products and look up some more information on it too, just to see how interesting it is. But you're right. If they're a good company and they have a lot of growth in the future, the valuation doesn't seem that high. Anyway, I think for today, I'm probably done. I just wanted to get caught up on tickers for you guys. I feel like I was falling behind in that regard. Again, Tesla, amazing performance today. Let's look real quickly at economic stuff coming for the remainder of the week. I think that's probably something to look at. And let me just sort it by level 2. Durable goods, GDP growth rates, so that we can get ourselves a rate cut in the future. So that's probably, from an economic standpoint, we should get some interesting data points over the next 2 days. Let me see. Pete said it's 15% in Nvidia, 15% in Microsoft, 15% in Apple as an example, but for addressing this. Yeah, okay, cool. Yeah. So like if you don't want to pick a winner, me personally, I'd rather just be invested in Tesla. I think it's one of the best opportunities of a lifetime. And so that's where I am looking to apply more capital in the future personally. But if somebody especially if you have like a 401k and you have access to that Vanguard fund, I would pick that over, other areas of investment. These will probably continue to do well because they're monoliths, man. When you're breaking in double-digit billions in net income a quarter, and you have a huge stockpile of money, I mean, if the markets fall apart, these guys can just buy back their stock or acquire more companies. So I think that if you have a 401k, I think that Vanguard fund is probably a really good one to be involved in. But otherwise, I personally like Tesla's my dream. But I think I'm done for the day, guys. I think we're going to quit here. So thank you for dealing with all the problems and making it this far. If you're still around, if you could hit like, that's great. Throw stuff in the comments, whatever. I appreciate you guys. It's just a pleasure having you here, and hopefully I'll continue to provide more value over time, especially as I start focusing attention back in the latter part of the year. I'll tell you, when I really get involved, when I really am going to get honed in on stuff, is when I believe we're getting into overbought territory with Tesla, when I believe we're in overbought territory for the long-term trend with Bitcoin. Whenever I think we're getting to the point where it's time to start trimming, I'm really going to be involved in throwing out a lot of data points to try and let people know what I'm doing and when I'm doing it. Right now, I'm kind of in a wait and hold. I haven't done hardly anything in regard to trades for over 6-7 weeks now. And I don't have an intent on doing a lot more. I might trim a little bit with Tesla as we get higher and higher and higher, especially if we get near the 300 range. And it happens in short order, like let's say by the end of the year. I'd probably do a decent amount of trimming on that one and just lock in some of those and get stock. But yeah, when I believe that we're at crucial points in time from an investment strategy standpoint, a good time to hedge or a good time to rotate, I'll try and throw out and give you all those things. But again, thank you guys for coming. Really appreciate you. I think we're going to go ahead and end here. So you guys take it easy and peace out. Bye.
Under development by Elon Musk's Tesla Inc. is sparking concerns around job security.
This is not financial advice, silly.
Robot just stole my job. I'm there like, oh my god. I blame it on Elon. He's taking all I got. Turned up to work and went to start my day. Was barely late, like 9:08. So took my coffee break. Then I got hungry, so I just stopped by the free buffet. But then to my dismay, I heard somebody say, "Attention, gentlemen, you have lost. You have not met your quota. Pack your belongings in a box. Now it's over." Robot just stole my job. I'm there like, oh my god. I blame it on Elon. He's taking all I got. But I'm in management. I work hard every day. I need these benefits, health and 401k. How could they do this shit though? Where will I trade my crypto? I had a second monitor for Twitter.